Hey, good Tuesday afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Nick Jansen to look at your first alert forecast. The time taping this just before 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Looks like the severe threat across the upper Midwest will stay well to our north throughout the rest of your Tuesday, so July 7th. However, things a little different on Wednesday. Might have to issue a first alert day depending on how we see some of these storms kind of develop throughout today and then into tomorrow morning. Maybe a few strong storms, some training thunderstorms could maybe lead to maybe some heavy rainfall in some spots. So let's dig into the forecast here. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you do like some of the long-form forecast discussions that we are doing. So the next big thing is the active weather that we have across the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin through the next 2 days. So looking at your severe storm outlook, this is from the Storm Prediction Center. This is for today, for Tuesday, July 7th. Most of the activity will stay to our north, so that's where we see the level 2 threat level is pretty much north there of, say, I-94. So we don't have too much to worry about in terms of that threat for any type of thunderstorm activity today. So we should be pretty quiet in terms of our weather. As we look towards tomorrow, that's when things kind of take a shift. We'll have a cold front that should set up to our north, and so this boundary kind of to the north here, I'll draw that in, that will kind of sag far enough to the south throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. It'll increase some of our cloud cover, and then it really just develops some of those really isolated and scattered cells across southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. We should have enough energy in the atmosphere to produce some thunderstorms, and maybe a few of those on the stronger side of things tomorrow. So looking at our threat levels, they're not extremely high. Maybe a quick spin-up tornado, but I don't think we're looking at multiple tornado warnings or anything like that tomorrow. From the Storm Prediction Center, a very small level 1 risk. And that is right through the I-90 corridor, so obviously that's something that we'll keep a close eye on. Maybe if we can get a couple of those individual cells to become a little bit more upscale, and maybe a supercell develops, then maybe we can have a quick spin-up tornado. I think the main threat will be heavy rain and wind, some gusty winds possible tomorrow, level 2 risk out of 5 there from the Storm Prediction Center. Then our hail risk, maybe we have some small hail up to around nickel size in some locations across southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. One thing I am concerned about is maybe the potential for some training thunderstorms. Our excessive rainfall outlook, we do have a level 2 out of 4 threat still for areas kind of that I-35 to Mississippi River corridor, so that's right through the Highway 52 region, so Austin, Rochester, down into Fillmore County, where we don't need any more rainfall at this point. So with how saturated the ground is, again, maybe running into some flash flooding issues if we do end up seeing some training thunderstorms on Wednesday. So it's a very conditional threat in terms of how strong storms will be. I'm really just concerned about maybe some heavy rain and then potentially looking at some gusty winds there. So in terms of your rainfall timing, if you have plans in the morning, you're heading to work or anything like that, taking the kids to camp, we're looking at dry conditions in the morning. So partly cloudy and warm. We'll have temperatures warming quickly into the low to mid 80s. Wednesday evening, timing-wise, 4 to 10 o'clock, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Probably looking at more or less 4 to 8 for a lot of that activity, and again, some pockets of some heavy rainfall. So here's the latest HER model run, so one of our high-resolution models, and I have a little bit wider of a view so we can see the convection throughout the day today. All the activity staying I-94 and north, so we see a lot of that activity kind of in that far southeastern corner there of North Dakota, and maybe kind of getting close to St. Cloud and even Brainerd with some thunderstorm activity there. We'll pause this then at 5 o'clock in the morning, and just all the activity right there's about I-94 well north of I-94, so all that activity up north of Minneapolis, St. Paul, up towards Duluth, Rylander, so we're quiet in tomorrow morning. Now, we could have maybe a passing stray shower. We'll see how this happens. North of Highway 14, probably Goodhue, Wabasha counties. Maybe we get some real light rainfall towards about Zumbrota, maybe Red Wing, Lake City, even towards Wabasha at times. If anything is strong, it's probably I-94 and east in Wisconsin. we will be watching this development back behind here out near Redwood Falls, Wilmer, and Marshall. That'll be a good indication if these storms do form out in this region, they'll progress to the east and southeast throughout the afternoon. So looking at about 4 o'clock, this is when the HRRR model, or the HRRR model has the convection, the thunderstorms moving in. We're probably anywhere from 4 to 6 o'clock for those storms to start to move in. Anything that does develop, though, will have the potential, again, maybe a quick spin-up tornado. That's pretty low on the threat list. It'll be wind and then some heavy rainfall. We move into the evening hours. Notice the line pretty much breaks apart here, but we could have some of those smaller individual cells maybe producing some heavy rainfall. Don't really pay too close attention to where the model has the heaviest rain at. Again, we're really just looking at all of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa with how scattered storms will be. You'll see the potential of maybe some heavy rainfall. Everything's out of the region probably before midnight. I think the HRRR kind of, I would say, has the storms lingering a little too far into the overnight hours. The rainfall forecast, the biggest thing to take away from this, it does show the heaviest rainfall right along Highway 14 and then kind of in southern Olmsted and into northern Fillmore County, so north of Preston. I wouldn't say that this is exactly where the heavy rainfall would be at. The biggest thing is we just have the potential of seeing this isolated pocket of where we could maybe get up to 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall. So just know that there's probably a 50% chance across pretty much all of southern Minnesota and northern Iowa that this pocket could maybe fall over your vicinity. So would not be shocked if all of a sudden that pocket of heavy rainfall is along the river valley or maybe a little closer towards about I-35. So just something to watch out for coming up tomorrow. Maybe some low-lying areas. We could maybe have some flooding or some flash flooding if those thunderstorms do train. So holding off on the first alert day for Wednesday just because I'm not sure how widespread the severe threat will be. Really looking at heavy rainfall and maybe some gusty winds. A few lingering thunderstorms into early Thursday morning, and then we are dry and quiet and a lot of sunshine on the way. We have a heat dome setting up again coming up next week, so a strong high-pressure system to our south upper-level high and ridging in the atmosphere. That will allow some pretty warm temperatures, upper 80s and low 90s, expected probably Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we continue to bring you all the forecast details for the upper Midwest.